Bama Ghana for. Say Jumekwe do and Juma Fatas on. And to say your hotel, school, hospital, bank, offices, and the West.
Wise.
The Punch
is enough.
TV.
Okay? And I think I've said more than one word. So it's more than enough. I'm not going to repeat anything. But you see, this election is also taking on the tone of a competition of religions, of tribes, of regions, and so on. And I sit back and I say, is this Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana? What the hell happened to us? Why? This is a country in which a poor boy from Nkrofo, a small village in the western region then, didn't have rich parents. The mother didn't go to Harvard. The father didn't go to Oxford, and so on. Came all the way from Nkrofo, contested elections in Accra, and beat an indigent, Obeche Bilante, to Ras. He beat him to Ras. What happened to us? That all of a sudden, the region where you come from is important, the language you speak is important, your religion is important, and so on. What happened to us? You see, the backward people in our society, very backward forces in our society, have gained the upper hand in the political discourse. And it will have consequences for us now, tomorrow, and in the future. Why? Inflation, yesterday I saw some publication which indicated that inflation was above 25%. Now, if you choose a Notna for president, how does that bring inflation down? This country is bankrupt. You choose somebody from Sogakope, how does that change that situation? You choose somebody from Gomoa de Rampong, how does that change that situation? How does that change that situation? Me, to be honest with you, I don't think that corruption is the bane of our development. I don't think that corruption is a Ghanaian category. I don't think that corruption is an African category. Corruption is universal, everywhere in the world. So if in spite of the fact that corruption is universal, some people are making progress and we are not making progress, it means that we have to look for additional causes. Okay? Additional causes. I don't think that our economy is in this state simply because our leaders have stolen money. Yes, they may steal money, they may have stolen money and so on. But that's not the reason. If you are the 5th largest producer of gold in the world, not in Africa, in the world, and Ghanaian interest in gold production is zero. Your people can be angels from heaven. Your economy will not grow. It will not improve. So let us begin to think and stop using these shortcuts. They are useless. Now every politician is talking about corruption. One, because they don't know the true causes of our underdevelopment. They have no idea what is responsible for our underdevelopment. So corruption is easy. Everybody, corruption. Nobody is talking about the fact that we have 0% interest in gold extraction in our country. That is more difficult to do. To discuss gold production is more difficult to do. You need extra intellectual acumen. You need to be able to analyze data and so on. The politicians are lazy and sometimes stupid.
The Punch TV.
So they don't discuss those difficult issues. We have signed an economic partnership agreement with the European Union. What is its consequences on our economy? Is it corruption which made us sign the economic partnership agreement with the European Union? No! But these politicians, nitwit some of them, they can't discuss the economic partnership agreement. So the easier one, corruption. As for corruption, everybody can talk some. Especially when you don't have to provide any evidence. So everybody, corruption, corruption, corruption. Let's look at the fundamental causes of our underdevelopment. And let's begin to discuss those issues. Massa, I'm even coughing. Let us begin to discuss the fundamental causes of our underdevelopment. Because if we continue this useless corruption mantra, it's not taking us anywhere. There are major fundamental problems with our economy. And one of those that I like to discuss a lot, that's simple. It's not even complicated. Master, you see, all the resources we have, they are non-renewable resources. Take note of that. When you dig gold from the soil, you cannot plant gold for it to germinate and create more gold. When you take out the diamond, it's gone forever. When you take out the gas, it's gone forever. When you take out the oil, it's gone forever. Tell me one resource which is renewable. Now today, when we have all of these resources embedded in our soil, look at our state. So sit down and imagine 50 years from now, when we have taken all the resources and deposited them in other people's countries. What will happen to us? This is the critical question our politicians must be asking. And they must be providing answers.
Bafsin Green Construction and Trading Abama Ghana for said you make do and Juma Fatas on. And to say your hotel, school, hospital, bank, offices, and the sea. Now, Pobiam and not to mutas amount there. And then I make for Bafsin Green Construction and Trading at the amount. Obuan was in down a won't you. Emane ha crampo, and posabro train hour. No, so West Sufia or Ghana, now Pobiam and not to mutas amount there. And then I make for Bafsin Green Construction and Trading at the amount. The Yanni so benny muchi dear. Your 2 bathroom tiles, compound tiles, swimming pool tiles, kitchen tiles, and in your home. Then it is summer woman said, so pass Seattle. Now do location Maya. The Yan say a Ghana, ye benya be the amount. Na yan juicy candy, yan dada, said young crofobie, the young crofobino. A sunset task would you make any dintino. Yet on cement, natural stones, tile cement, slabs, marble tiles, and nobody lay a sign so a supply. A sense of Juma hotel, not swear need to know. You were a boarding cracks are a certificate, a treasure your fat entity. Obetting your friend whom I true for so 0505 62 68 23 0505 62 68 23. Oba we a breaku. Waja adequate we need a quantum pona so. Bafsin Green Construction and Trading. We do it just the way you love it.
Well, I've read the latest results of the survey carried out by Global Info Analytics. And after reading the results, I've also had the opportunity of speaking with the Executive Director of Global Info Analytics. As a matter of fact, I interviewed him yesterday, and that interview is likely to play this evening. Now, if you look at the results which have been released, it suggests that the outcome of the elections would be a tsunami. What is predicted has not happened in the history of elections in Ghana since 1992. There's a landslide victory for former President John Dramani Mahama. Now, there are a few interesting aspects of that report. He's virtually winning in all the regions, with the exception of 2 or so, I think. Okay. He's winning across all the religious divide. He's the preferred candidate of Muslims, preferred candidate of Christians, and so on. Is winning across all the social divisions in the country. And so on. And when I read the report, I was stunned. He has more than a 20% lead over his closest rival, and so on. Now, this is interesting. Okay, very interesting. Now, it's important to understand clearly that in the 2016 elections, the margin between Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and President John Dramani Mahama then was about 1 million votes. 1 million. By 2020, that gap was narrowed to 500,000. Okay? So in the first 4-year period, the NPP and Nana Akufo-Addo's government lost 500,000 votes. It is not surprising that in the next 4 years, they appear to be losing more than 500,000 votes. Something is happening. Now, what is it that is happening? Clearly, the conditions of our people are worsening. Okay? And the New Patriotic Party has not been able to give hope to our people and is losing votes. It's also significant to note that Mr. Alan Shermartin has left the New Patriotic Party. In fact, many of the propagandists of the New Patriotic Parties and so on are emphasizing the unity of the party. Master, now, that man is gone already, he's not coming back. That unity is not there, cannot be there, it's gone. And so when you hear them urging unity, they're actually urging unity for those who have remained. Okay. Now, for those of us who are looking at these results of polling, we must be careful to do proper evaluation. This polling does not take account of rigging. This is if people were to go to the polls and genuinely vote and express themselves, this would be the outcome. If elections are rigged, this would not be the outcome. That's one important factor that everybody must look at. Now, I've been looking at election results from 1992, and there's something striking. If you take all the election results from 1992, for every election, at least you find one constituency, at least one constituency, where the number of votes cast is more than the number of registered voters. Do the exercise and see it for yourself. At least one constituency, at least. That's an indication of rigging. It may not be widespread, it may not be sufficient to nullify the results of an election, but it's an indication of rigging. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So the election results themselves tell us that not everything has been rosy, and that there has been some underhand dealings in the elections. And this calls for some remedial actions. Okay. Now, for those of us who raised this alarm, there are indications that something could happen. I'm not saying that something will happen. I'm saying that something could happen. When the governing party starts appointing its card-bearing propagandists onto the National Electoral Commission, we have to be cautious. We have to ring the alarm bells. Now, I am really surprised at the sloppiness of the National Democratic Congress in dealing with this matter. Can you imagine if in 2016, President Mahama had appointed Dr. Tonyedu as a member of the National Electoral Commission? What would have happened? NDC in this instance wrote some lame, useless letter to the Council of State and went to bed. There were MPP primaries in Yendi. An official of the Electoral Commission boldly and proudly declared his membership or sympathy of the New Patriotic Party. What has happened? Nothing. So these NDC people who are sitting in their houses and saying, making all kinds of claims, they are funny. They are exceedingly funny. They don't know what time it is, as some people say. You understand? Okay. Now that is one. Two, these are the results that the polls show. And I believe, honestly, that those who conducted the polls are credible. Global Info Analytics has established its credibility over the last 5 years. One, if you look at the survey they conducted on the 2020 elections, not even the 2016 elections, that's when they started. They were on point. They conducted a survey on the Asin North election, they were on point. They conducted a survey on the MPP primaries, they had it right. So if you look at all the surveys they've conducted, you have to take their results seriously. Now understand that the MPP campaign has raised issues with the current poll results. And then I ask a question. Between the MPP campaign, or the Bawumia campaign, and Global Info Analytics, who should we trust? If you take the MPP primaries, the Bawumia campaign actually predicted 70% victory for Bawumia. It didn't happen. Okay? Some of you went as far as predicting 80% and so on. It didn't happen. If you take the Asin North elections, the MPP prediction didn't happen. You understand? Even if you take the 2016 elections, the MPP prediction, you understand what I mean? So between the Bawumia campaign and Global Info Analytics, I would find Global Info Analytics more credible. But you see, again, we are in April. The elections will be on December 4th. December 7th. We are in April. Between now and December 7th, many things can happen. I'll tell you a story. There was a parliamentary candidate in some country, European country and so on, that nobody took serious. Everybody knew that this candidate was not going to do well in the elections at all. a few weeks to the elections, some unknown, unidentified persons assaulted this candidate. The public sympathy that this assault generated gave him victory.
The punch.
So the things that decide victory can happen on the spur of the moment. One reckless statement from a leader of the NDC is going down straight into the gutters. One reckless statement can destroy the NDC. One, not two, one reckless statement. Okay? So it's important, especially for those around their candidates, if they don't have sensible things to say, to shut up. I hope you understand what I'm saying. If they don't have sensible things to say, they should shut up. Because the real danger facing the NDC today is that many of its members, especially in leadership positions, are beginning to believe that the elections have been won already. And that all that is left is how to share the spoils. Those people are a danger to the party. Okay? Now the NDC is putting up a candidate. NPP is putting up a candidate. Other parties are putting up candidates. Yes, sometimes we are tempted to say that party A or party B will win the election or has won the election and so on. But who has to win the election? It is not Mahama. It is not Bawumia. It is the people of Ghana who have to win the election. Because the election is about the welfare of the people of Ghana. The election is about whether the people of Ghana can afford gobe or kenke and fish. The election is about access to education and quality education for all Ghanaians, not only members of the NDC. The election is about the availability of potable water to everybody in this country. So this nonsense of MPP extending the 8 and NDC winning and stupid partisanship and so on does not impress me. Bottom line, what is this election going to lead to? Improving the welfare of our people? Providing a better life for our people or not? That is the issue. And that is why sometimes it is important to interrogate manifestos. Even though since 1992 manifestos have been completely useless in this country, and I can discuss that. No party has implemented everything they have said in their manifesto. No party. That's a fact. So now manifestos mean very little to us, the electorate, the manifestos. Who is going to implement any manifesto? I've been watching this period very closely. I've been hearing all the promises which are being made from left, right, center. Of course, the most ridiculous is the guy who intends to take the sea from Kolegono to Kumasi. But they're equally ridiculous claims and promises. You understand? So, as a manifesto, they shouldn't waste our time. And in all the promises, manifesto promises which are being made, if you examine them carefully, and you are sober, reflective, and informed, you have problems with all the manifesto promises which are being made. Why do I say this? This is a bankrupt country. Bankrupt. Whoever is elected on January 7th will be struggling to find money to buy ice water to put in the fridge of the president. That's how bad the situation is. We are spending way above national revenue. Bankrupt country. So no matter what promises are being made by NPP, NDC, and so on, let's be realistic. It is possible. It ain't going to happen. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It is just possible. It ain't going to happen. Now, the polls indicate that John Mahama may become president on January 7th. All things being equal, he will become president on January 7th, 2025. Master, I pity him. Truly, truly pity him. I pity John Mahama. Because if care is not taken, after winning the elections, between 3 and 6 months, the people of Ghana will be on the streets with cutlasses chasing him. How is he going to deliver? Unless you don't know what is happening in this country, unless you don't know the state of the country, how is he going to deliver? Is he going to run to the IMF and the World Bank again? Now, I read his statement on LGBTQ and so on. I read the statement. The US, even the IMF and so on, are saying that if you take that position, we will squeeze you to death. So clearly that is not an option. If he's going to maintain his stand on LGBTQ, he starts off with a massive squeeze from the Western countries, the IMF and others. How is he going to overcome that problem to start with? That problem alone, how is he going to solve it? So, winning elections would not be like lying on a bed of roses, to use the old cliche. There is work to be done, very, very serious work to be done. Even for those who win the election, they have to sweat, they have to cry, they have to feel pains. Now, for those who have already started counting their chicken before the eggs have been hatched, Master, it's not going to be easy. Oh. They don't know. They think it's children playing. It's not going to be easy. Senna. There are a few things too that I want to talk about, handlers of candidates can have the best of intentions. The handlers of candidates. They can have the best of intentions but end up messing the candidates big time. Because the handlers of the candidates, they have their own aspirations. Aspirations, ambitions, outlook, and so on. Sometimes, and indeed most times, if they inflict these aspirations, ambitions, and so on the candidate, they destroy the candidate. A good candidate can be destroyed very easily. In our circumstances, the NDC has a woman presidential candidate. And me, I wish her all the best. I wish her all the best because I've known her over the years and I think she's an excellent woman. And I keep saying, the first time she struck me as somebody who was extraordinary was when she gave the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Lectures at the University of Cape Coast. I can never take that out of my head. I think she's a decent woman, and I wouldn't mind if she became the vice president of this republic. Okay? But her handlers should be very careful not to clothe her in their own stupid, petty bourgeois idiosyncrasies. If I were managing her, my main assignment would be to make her look sound and everything like an ordinary Ghanaian woman. So hiring makeup people and so on to go and paint her face and so on should be out of the equation completely. You understand? When she's going out, how she's dressed, she must look like a working class woman. Working class woman, put jeans on her, put canvas on her, put some t-shirt on her, and so on. Let her look like a working class woman. It brings votes. Already she has a handicap. What many people think is her strength can also become her handicap. She's a professor, for God's sake. The general attitude towards academics beyond a certain level, everybody knows. I'm not going to repeat it. Bring her down to the level of people like me. You understand? Or below. Is that below? I think I'm at the bottom. You understand? So, I'm an outsider. But even outsiders can peep into the inside. And what they see can sometimes be revealing. I don't want to talk too much on this particular issue. It has often been said that a word to the
Yama owi akwa baba Mansa Media College. Mansa Media College a school power a TV so any radio so dwumadie. Ya so ye e Kumase atonsu. Baby a uwo bia opese ba Mansa Media College a na be hu dwumadie yedi ni hono a yentie dwumadie yedi no Mansa Media College.
Se usua bribi wo media mu ana opese ohunu bribi biara efa media ho ensu eche kra
Mansa Media College e wo homa
ye wa achechefo a wa kwadiri yie wa ditwemu na in studio ni ye newsroom de editwam wonsam twemu no ye kire bribi ti se kasebo akenkan ni sinitwa ni bebura ekeka ho wo multimedia mu nso ye kire bribi ti se sini mfoni asiesie mfoni nitwa ni bebura ekeka ho ye betumi nso aboa ama wo de na otwepe asunya bribi wo nkitahodie adwuma ahodo nyinaa mu esan se ye wo yankasa foni nti abwe biara ye ma ya adesuafo kwan ma okọ yode ya kire won adesua dan mu no
ahwefo hu ekame ese obi biara wo le bosomtwe ase enim agbakosema efa nsuo hu menya abofra kitua bi wo ha ono so se onim agbakosema efa le bosomtwe hu
abusuafo ye mama kwaba eba Ghana Pages TV so emra so se the trending issues ne ekoso ewo abe for time fidie ni so ebe somo midi na eje wa akode
Mansa Media College ya ma o de we hia bia wo nkutahodie mu